In 1979, VisiCalc turned a grid of cells into software ordinary users could shape. In 2026, AI agents are doing the same to code bases, but at system scale. Today, we are unpacking two ideas every builder should know: malleable software and the AI harness wrapped around modern models, because they now explain the same shift. The thesis is simple. AI is not just making software smarter, it is making software more malleable, because intent can now become behavior instead of just another support ticket. If you design rigid SaaS in 2026, you may be building tomorrow's legacy software today. Users now expect tools to reshape around workflows, teams, data, and local context. Traditional products feel like factory lines, optimized, repeatable, and difficult to alter. Malleable products feel more like workshops, where the user can keep rearranging the bench. This category is exploding because AI lowered the cost of customization. The interface for change is becoming a conversation, not a settings page full of hidden switches. Malleable software is software end users can reshape, extend, or recombine without becoming professional developers first, even when the resulting workflow feels custom-built. Spreadsheets are the canonical example. You enter numbers, but you also build calculators, budgets, CRMs, simulations, and sometimes entire businesses, one formula at a time. Notion, Emacs, HyperCard, and spreadsheets all share this quality. The shipped product becomes a material users can keep shaping long after the vendor stops designing. Property 1 is direct manipulation. The user shapes the artifact itself, not some hidden configuration file buried 3 layers away from the thing they are trying to change. Property 2 is persistence. Your changes stick. The tool becomes yours because the system remembers the shape you gave it and reuses that shape tomorrow. Property 3 is composition over coding. Users wire existing blocks together instead of writing an application from scratch, which keeps power high and entry cost low. The big idea is lowering the floor between user and developer. When that floor drops, software stops being a product and becomes a medium. Now, the newer idea, an AI harness, is the scaffolding around a model that turns raw prediction into a working system with responsibilities, actions, and constraints. The model alone is a brain in a jar. The harness gets its senses, hands, memory, rules, and a feedback loop, so it can participate in real work. A real harness usually includes prompts, tools, memory, orchestration, guardrails, and evals. Each piece narrows what the model becomes and what failures are even possible. System prompts are not just text. They are behavioral constraints, priorities, tone, permission boundaries, and the job the model thinks it has in this specific environment. Tools are where the model stops talking and starts acting. Search, code execution, file edits, APIs, databases, and browsers become its hands with real consequences. Memory decides what survives the current turn. Without memory, the system is clever but forgetful. With memory, behavior compounds across projects, users, and repeated decisions. Orchestration is the choreography, which step runs first, which agent owns the task, and when the system asks for help instead of pretending to know. Guardrails constrain what the system may do. Evals tell you whether those constraints and tools are actually producing good behavior under realistic pressure. Claude Code is a harness. Cursor is a harness. LineGraph, Mastra, and ChatGPT are all harnesses around models, each with a different product opinion. The critical insight: the harness changes behavior without changing model weights. You are not retraining. You are choreographing the model inside a designed environment. That makes the harness the highest leverage layer in many AI products. Change the harness, and the same model becomes a different system for a different job. Here is where the two concepts collide. Malleable software and AI harnesses are not separate categories. They are converging fast, especially in developer tools. Connection 1. Shared DNA. Both ideas prefer composition over coding. Blocks, formulas, prompts, tools, and agents are all composable parts, designed to be rearranged. Connection 2. The harness itself is malleable software. Users edit instructions, register tools, define agents, and reshape behavior without touching the base model. A Claude.md file is not the model. It is a user-authored behavior layer. That is malleability, now aimed at intelligence instead of spreadsheets or documents. Connection 3. Natural language is becoming the configuration layer. You describe intent, and the harness translates it into action, policy, memory, or workflow. For 40 years, customization meant learning syntax, formulas, scripts, config files, macros. LLMs collapse that barrier into intent while still producing structured behavior underneath. This is the biggest expansion of malleability since the spreadsheet, not because syntax disappeared, but because fewer people must touch it directly. The next generation of applications will not just use AI, they will be malleable because an AI harness sits underneath, translating intent into durable system changes. The spreadsheet lets users build software inside cells. The harness lets users shape intelligent behavior inside conversations, files, tools, and persistent project instructions. So, what does this mean for system design? 3 principles fall out if you want to build systems that stay useful as workflows change. Start by seeing the application as layers, interface, harness, model, tools, and data. User intent should flow through all of them, not stop at chat. Principle 1. Design shapeable seams. Do not hardcode every workflow. Expose prompts, tools, rules, and config where users can adapt them safely. Principle 2. Treat the harness as the product. The model is increasingly a commodity. Your orchestration is where the moat forms and where quality compounds. Your moat is not simply which foundation model you call. It is your tool design, memory strategy, eval loop, and workflow taste, all working together. Principle 3. Make natural language a first-class interface, not a chatbot bolted onto a product that still behaves rigidly behind the scenes. Settings menus will not disappear, but more important changes will start as conversations that the harness turns into durable configuration the user can trust. The anti-pattern is simple. Put a chat box beside a rigid product, then pretend the product is now intelligent, even though nothing meaningful can change. A useful design question is this: after the user explains a new workflow, can the system remember it and operate differently tomorrow without a custom engineering ticket? Shapeable seams, harness as product, and language as interface, those 3 ideas turn AI features into adaptable systems instead of one-off demos. Think of it like cooking. Rigid software is fast food, fixed menu, standardized choices, and very little room to improvise around your actual situation. Malleable software is your home kitchen. You have tools, ingredients, recipes, and enough freedom to make something that fits tonight instead of the average user. An AI-harnessed malleable system is that kitchen plus a sous chef who understands intent and helps compose the result from available ingredients. You say, something light tonight, use what is in the fridge. The system can reason across constraints, tools, and preferences, then remember what worked. That is the leap, from fixed menus to flexible kitchens to systems that translate intent into useful action and keep improving the workflow. Malleable software taught us that users want to shape tools. AI harnesses give us machinery to make that shaping conversational, intelligent, and persistent. Together, these concepts are a blueprint for the next decade of system design, user-authored behavior, powered by intelligent orchestration and measured by real outcomes. If you are building anything today, ask one question: can my users bend this without waiting for my roadmap, my sprint cycle, or my support team? Because the systems that bend are the ones that survive. The rigid ones become tickets, workarounds, shadow spreadsheets, and eventually migrations. Subscribe for more system design deep dives. Next episode, why MCP might become the USB-C of AI. Remember the distinction. Malleable software is about who can shape the tool. AI harnesses are about what shapes intelligent behavior once the model is running. And remember the leverage: you can change the product experience dramatically without changing model weights, if the harness is well designed and observable. The future is not just AI inside apps. It is apps whose behavior can be shaped by users, with AI doing the translation and the system preserving the result. If this helped, save the phrase: the harness is the new spreadsheet. It is the layer where users increasingly author systems, not just consume them. For builders, that means your product architecture should expose behavior as something users can safely inspect, adapt, and persist across sessions. For users, it means the tools around you should feel less like locked products and more like systems you can teach and gradually make your own. That is the deep link between malleable software and the AI harness. Different eras, same dream, software you can bend.